So let's begin with lesson number 1, which is the front two-handed choke. All right, this is very, very common, untrained. And that's what you're gonna notice with this part of the curriculum. We're dealing with an untrained person. Why? Because the person that's more likely to attack you, who's he more likely to be like? Someone like Jordan, a disciplined, almost black belt, or maybe an undisciplined, just kind of ruffian, no stripe white belt that's gonna have more gross, big, sloppy attacks, not more refined skills. We'll deal with that type of fighter later. But I believe we should focus on the things that we're most likely to encounter first, and that's untrained, and especially for the kids and stuff like that. This is what everyone is gonna see. So the two-handed front choke, it looks like this. Now, what's great about this technique is that you're learning like 5 lessons in one. All right, let's talk about what's happening real quick though. The first thing that I'm doing is I'm getting in my base, guys. Traditionally, you'll see sometimes it taught like this. I prefer to keep my hands up and centered. They're gonna have to go there anyway. I shrink my head out. I back up. Look at the spacing on my feet. My feet are at 12 and 3. I'm in a good base. You're going to hear us talk about 12 and 3 a lot. See how my foot was out? That could even be a little better. I fade back as he steps in. I pisau kick. A pisau kick means long step kick. I'm leaning back, chambering my leg. If you've ever done any traditional martial arts, this is just a chambered side kick. But instead of kicking straight out at the side, we're kicking down at a 45-degree angle. I used to be pretty good at that. I can't even kick high now. Pisau. Wall. Make your wall strong. No playing peekaboo. Make your wall strong. I enter to his chest. I'm going to show a different angle in a minute, but I'm going to wrap his arm and get to what we call the T position. T position. My leg wrapped around his. My arm wrapped around his body. And my head is in the front, under his chin. Hip throw. Turn the foot, hips inside, and I'll spare Jordan the hip throw for today. The hip throw is going to get its own lesson, but let's talk about a couple things in here that are really, really important that you're going to see in almost every move that we do. Number 1, as the person grabs, we have base, guys, 12 and 3. 12 and 3. I don't know if you can see my feet from there, but my front foot's pointed at Jordan's spinal column, and my other foot is 90 degrees from that. You don't want your feet too wide. You definitely don't want them too narrow like this. You want to be here, and I want to be able to move like this. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So we have our base, and then my spacing. If I stay here, I could get hit. Traditionally, sometimes you'll see the move. When I say traditionally, what I'm talking about is these moves have adapted and changed over time a little bit. We also, as a kind of council of instructors with a lot of experience, have made improvements to the moves. So when I say traditionally, typically what I'm talking about is something that you'll see in the Elio Gracie text or taught by one of his sons at some point. But these moves change all the time. They change them all the time. It's a living art. Things are always adapting. So anyway, traditionally the move looks like this. Some of you have seen that. The way I want everyone doing it is here. Base. I back up now. I'm at that range right now, pause. I'm at that range where he can't hit me. And we're going to measure this with our fingers. We're going to talk a lot more about this in the striking section, but I just want you to see it right now. Now he has to come toward me. I can take another step if I want. And at some point, I'm going to stop and I'm going to chamber my leg. That was a little sloppy. Let me do that again. So I'm here. Here, I back up. See how I maintain my base? And then as he's coming in, I kick him in the quad. I'm trying to use the spur of my heel in his quad. The spur of my heel in his quad. I wall. I clinch to the T position. Let's change. Let's talk about T position. So we understand 2 things now. We understand our base, 12 and 3 footwork. We understand the proper spacing, hands up, plugging the middle, so that our hands aren't, he can't throw punches down the middle. Again, we're going to talk so much about this later. I'm just giving basics right now. Now T position, head inside, squeezing my legs around his. I am completely perpendicular to Jordan. I'm not to the front, not to the back, I'm to the side. And then I wrapped over, what you couldn't see from that side is I went here, and then I wrapped over that arm, C grip right at the tricep, ratchet this into my side. I'm looking at you guys right now, but I would be looking at his chest so that he can't. Sometimes if guys are really dirty fighters, they'll use this arm around and they'll grab your face. Show them. They'll come around. Yeah. That's gonna make you let go. Try to get me. Try to get me. Bang. We're going down. The second I feel him try to touch my face, and you couldn't get in there, right? So I'm just talking to you guys, but in reality, I would be burying my face in his chest because people fight dirty. Go for your eyes, fish hook you, right? Even the kids watching this for self-defense, bullies might try to do that to you. You don't want this to happen, okay? So again, I'm gonna be the bad guy. Let's watch Jordan do this. Just the beginning. Look at his base. Watch him slip the head. Look at his spacing. I come in, he does the kick. Wall. Clinch. Pause. Look at his T position. And then he's going to set up the hip throw. Look how he turns. And again, we'll dedicate a whole lesson to the hip throw. So again, without a partner, real quick. Front choke defense, 2 hands. I get grabbed from the front. I base. I slip my head out. I back up. I back up. I might need even to do it a 3rd time. I'm leaning my weight back. I Pisau kick. Wall. Clinch, T position, hip throw, which we'll talk about later. Or you could back trip them. You could do a leg hook takedown to the back, or you could hip throw, or shoot down for a single leg even. We'll talk more about that later. Anything else for the two-handed front choke? Just remember, step in a good base, hands up as soon as you get out to get ready for that punch coming. Cool. All right, great. Perfect.